Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to Yaakov and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled The Apocalypse Is Not Nigh. Of course, coming from an article that we're going to go and head over and grab. Here it is. Now, the original name of the title is kind of obscured, and I can't exactly see what it says. Something asteroids, volcano, nuclear war, and it gives us kind of like a hint at what it was saying, but really that's what grabbed my attention was the name of the article. But anyway, it's opinion by this guy Tyler Cohen. All right, and that shows you a lot because an opinion don't mean shit. All right, show us some factual basis. All right, and really factual only comes from the Bible, which you can't do that, can you, Tyler? It says, where's the best place to ride out the next cataclysm? It says the wisest plan for any American worried about asteroids, volcanoes, or nuclear war: just stay put. Now, this guy is a apocalypse denier. Of course, this is by Tyler Cohen. You can see he's an Edomite. More than likely, all right, more than likely an old Edomite. Now, here's where the title of the lesson comes from. It says, the apocalypse is not nigh. As I have long maintained, so he's maintained this for a long time, that the apocalypse is not coming. All right, there's not going to be an end of the world anytime soon. It says, as I have long maintained, it says, but what about a cataclysm? I am talking about a sudden and extreme violent event. Just last month, an asteroid big enough to destroy a city passed between the Earth and the Moon. The possibility of a nuclear exchange is greater than it has been in decades. Scientists are still studying the global impact of last year's eruption of a supervolcano in the South Pacific. All right, it says, if you fear that America is going to face a cataclysm of some sort soon, you may ask yourself where you should ride it out. I have a counterintuitive answer. If you live in a dense urban area, stay put, especially if, like me, you live in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. Says, and this is where the pride comes in. Here it comes. Says the biggest advantage of the Washington region is that in case of a real catastrophe, it would receive a lot of direct aid. It's not just that Congress and the White House are nearby, so are the Pentagon and the FBI and the CIA, and hundreds, if not thousands, of government agencies. Insofar, there might be an emergency response to a cataclysmic event. The Washington area will be prioritized. We gotta wait. It's coming though. It says, well, it's coming down in this next article, not this one, but the next one. It says, or the next paragraph, I should say, it says the region also has plenty of hospitals and doctors and a wide variety of law enforcement units, including the various federal agencies, as well as the police from Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. If you care about order being restored, Washington will be better than most places. After the event that's coming, your order will be restored, but not by the Edomites, all right? Not by the so-called white people, not by Washington, D.C., all right? The order is going to be restored by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and you're not going to like it very much, all right? It says, let me skip this one. This one's goofy sounding. I don't like that. Let me actually go over here. Go. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's grab this. It says, of course, a counterargument is that Washington is more likely than most places to be hit by a cataclysmic event, especially if it involves a nuclear exchange or some other weapon of mass destruction. Here comes the pride. But there's good news. Scary quotes intended. If a foreign enemy is truly intent on targeting America's capital, the conflict may be so extreme that it won't matter where you go. If I were a foreign power attacking the U.S., Washington would not be my first choice as a target, as it would virtually guarantee the complete destruction of my own country. No, what? The U.S. isn't going to be able to strike back after this nuclear event. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an Edomite, though, so what do you expect? And look what's running on the side over here. Are CBDCs the future of money? All right, look at that, man. Hey, and because it's being talked about everywhere. All right, because they're rolling out all this CBDC. They're trying to roll it out and get it out soon. All right, I think last time I heard it said they wanted something implemented by July, but we'll see. We'll roll with it. We're not going to put dates on anything. It said, I realize that my advice runs counter to the usual recommendation of getting a cabin in some remote area of the American West, and it's true that you could go there with a shotgun and be safe from looters and the risk of civil unrest. Still, when it comes to getting food or medical care, not to mention internet service, I would rather be in a densely populated area. Okay, if there's a nuke, and it wipes out certain areas, more than likely, you don't understand what's going down. This guy doesn't understand all the events that are going to happen. He doesn't get it. All right, and you could tell him, and he wouldn't get it. This is the type of guy that would argue at the camp. All right, no. That's not how. No, I have a degree. Fuck you and fuck your degree. Says still, when it comes to getting food or medical care, not to mention internet service, if there's a nuke, all right, fuck in your internet service, man. What do you need internet service for? There was just a fucking nukes that dropped down. You're worried about internet service? Fuck, man. Said I would rather be in a densely populated area. Oh yeah, like where the nuke dropped. It said people usually pull together, and this dude's gonna more than likely get hit by a nuke because of all this pride. Says, oh, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I hope you're right center in the middle. I hope you're at ground zero, man. I hope the ground zero is right at your house, man. Any of you proud ass people that say there won't be a nuclear war. There won't be a nuclear war. I hope when because there's gonna be multiple nukes. I hope ground zero. I hope the launching points for a lot of these nukes are directly at your house. That shit comes crashing down directly on you. Not only are you gonna be hit with it, that shit was right directly over you. All right, it's not gonna happen. There's not gonna be a cataclysmic event. Oh, no, the Armageddon is not nigh. The apocalypse is not nigh. Yes, it is. It's very nigh, you dummy. And if you looked around, you could tell the signs of the time. You'd see. But you can't see because you're an Edomite, and the Most High doesn't give the spirit to Edomites, okay? People usually pull together in times of extreme need. Or what really happens is in extreme need, if they can't get it, they'll loot, all right? They will loot and they will steal from you, all right? People usually pull together in times of need. So I would want to be near more people, not fewer people. Well, let's go up here. It said it's true. Well, let's get up to what you just said. It said, it's true that you could go there with a shotgun and be safe from looters and the risk of civil unrest. I thought you said it, and people usually pull together in times of extreme need. Well, which one is it, man? Are there going to be looters, or are people going to be pulling together? Because looting isn't pulling together. All right, maybe pulling together to loot. This guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I wonder what some of his other articles are, Let's get, let's scroll up. I want to see what this guy, can we see some of his other articles? Let's see what he says on Twitter, first of all. There we go, okay. Let's go back down to where we were. Stay right there, because that's where we were. Let's see what this guy has to say. Hey, this is him. More than likely an Edomite, for sure. What else? What do we got him talking about? A whole bunch of nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. Let's check his Bloomberg articles. What do we got? Biomedical revolution needs a few good economists. We got, by pausing AI, we'd only be hurting ourselves. How AI will make land more valuable. We got, this banking crisis won't wreck the economy. What else do we have? Just a bunch of bullshit, really. Let's see what else we have. A lot of talk about AI and just weird economics that just nobody gives a shit about. So just, really, I guess this isn't as usual. This is just kind of a random thing that came out of nowhere. Where's the best place? All right. It's not usually your forte, is it? But let me see. What's your opinion? What else? What other opinions do you have? Oh, this is just all opinions. All right, cool. Well, we're not gonna spend any time with you. We're going to continue on. It says, another common answer to the where should I go question is to leave the United States entirely and buy a second home or a bunker in New Zealand. New Zealand has some great advantages. It's relatively safe, has a lot of water. It could be self-sufficient in agriculture and food. Its relative isolation could be a real benefit if there were a nuclear exchange. Nevertheless, I consider the New Zealand option to be overrated. Remember, the country clothed itself to foreigners during the you-know-what. Might it do the same in response to a sudden cataclysmic event? And also, if a bunch of bombs are going off and a bunch of nukes are going off, you think the airlines are just going to be open? You guys, you don't think, man. It says, and if it were open to foreigners, getting there could be difficult. It says, but the problem is not merely logistical. If there is a collapse of some degree of civil and economic order, then informal social networks will become even more crucial, not just for companionship, but possibly for survival. And it keeps on going on and going on and going on. Let's actually just read. Let's just read it. We're almost done. It says, New Zealanders are generous. I used to live there myself, but the notion that they would welcome some rich American stepping off his private jet, let's just say that might not go so well. Because a lot of people don't like these Americans either. It says, the history of humankind features plenty of catastrophic events. Maybe they were not as objectively bad as what I am postulating. All right. It says, but they were extreme misfortunes nonetheless. And one way people dealt with these events was to move to cities and centers of population density. Except during, economies of scale and scope have typically proved to be protective of human beings. So for the 4 out of 5 Americans who live in the cities or suburbs, there is some qualified good news. If you're worried about a cataclysm, the best thing to do is just stay put. And that is true because, no matter where you're going to run, if the Lord has it out for you, he doesn't have any spiritual knowledge, though. The thing is, if you don't have the Lord dealing with you, you're not going to be safe anywhere. And if you have the Lord dealing with you, if you're of his elect, you're going to be safe anywhere. All right, you could be directly right under the nuclear blast and you'd still be safe because the Lord could throw a force field over you. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. All right, the Lord has many different ways. Okay, but he's not thinking this because he's an Edomite. The Lord is not at all in their thoughts. All right, so he's thinking about you could move theoretically, or you could do this, or you could go over here theoretically, or go into a bunker theoretically, but, the apocalypse is not nigh. He says it right here. The apocalypse is not nigh. Okay, what does nigh mean? Let's get that word, nigh.
Nigh.
All right, almost, nearly, all right, at or to a short distance away. A short distance from something. All right, so we're not close to the apocalypse, as he says. All right, what is the apocalypse? We should know. We don't even really need to get what the apocalypse is.
Apocalypse.
It says the complete final destruction of the world as described in the biblical book of Revelation. Okay? So there you go, the apocalypse. All right? There you go. Another thing, I'm going to mention this randomly, I've noticed, is what is up with this thing going around, okay, lately? I've seen plenty of articles that keep on saying, and I mentioned this to my wife earlier, they keep on saying the Louisville shooter bought an AR-15 legally. Legally. They bought this gun legally, and I think, the guy that, I don't know if this was the bank guy, wasn't he? Yeah, this is the bank guy. Yeah, the bank, yep. So that's the bank guy. I had to check and make sure I was true. So that's the bank guy. And they did the same thing, I believe, with the transformer that shot up at the school, saying they legally bought a gun. Okay. And I've noticed that they keep on saying this whole, they bought the gun legally. They bought it legally. Of course they bought it legally. And what they're trying to do is they're kind of trying to control guns. Is what they're trying to do. They're trying to see if they can get some gun control implemented. All right, where they can just ban the guns, and it ain't gonna go over so well. All right, I can tell you that. Not with these Americans. But here you are. We bought the gun legally. Okay, what'd you want them to do? Buy the gun illegally? All right, that's how most people buy their guns, are legally. I don't own any, but I could go and buy one legally if I wanted today. Well, if I had the money, but still, you know, Walmart. I mean, it wouldn't be the best gun, but you can go get a shotgun if I wanted to. Anybody can buy a gun legally, man. This. I just wanted to mention that because I don't know if I'm gonna get on a lesson on it, but that just shows you this fucking agenda that these people are trying to push, man. It's always an agenda being pushed. So whenever you see these articles, just know it might be an agenda, and we don't even know what some of these events could be, phony. Is all I'll say. All right, some of these events could be less than correct on how they're being reported. But anyway, back to the point. This guy's saying the apocalypse is not nigh. Oh, it isn't. All right, well, let's go and read Matthew 20:24-1. Let's see some of the things going on and see if the apocalypse is in fact nigh. Okay, Matthew 24:1. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple. And we've read this, the other day, and we're going to read it again, all right? Matthew 24:1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. We talked about this yesterday, all right? And Yahushua came and said, we'll finish on in the sentence. In verse 2 it says, and Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So there was these buildings, and he said, look at these. You see all these things? He talked to his disciples. He said, look at these. There's not one of these buildings that can be standing. All right, everything's going to be destroyed. And in verse 3 it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? They said, all right, so what should we look for? All right, what are we going to see? What are we going to hear? What's going to be going on? How are we going to know when you're ready to come back? When you are coming back, how are we going to know? Is there going to be any signs? And the Lord didn't give them a date or a time. He gave them signs, and here are the signs. In verse 4 it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. So many, there's going to be, false Christs, all right, false Hamashiachs, all right, as we use that word, Hamashiach, not Christ, but Hamashiach, all right. And you over there, what do you see? You got these people, these Ish people over there have appointed themselves a Messiah, all right, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. And verse 6 it says, and ye shall, here's another one, here's a big one. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Are we not hearing about wars and rumors of wars with, the Middle East, all right, with these Asian countries, all right, primarily Russia and Ukraine? Are we not hearing about those things? Are we not? It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Not only will you hear of actual wars, you'll hear of rumors of wars. Rumors of wars starting, right? There might be some war over here. There could be a war. It looks like there might be a war. That's a rumor of war. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Oh, see, the end is not yet. The end is not nigh. Listen. We're closer than this. We're closer. It says in verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and we are seeing more earthquakes than we have ever seen. All right, we're seeing kingdom rising against kingdom, nation against nation, correct? We're also seeing, famines and pestilences on a smaller scale. They will come at a bigger scale at a later time, all right, but we're seeing them already. And in verse 8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. The end is very nigh. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. This is speaking of, the people in this truth. All right, there'd more likely be some big event where, that they or events that they blame on the Hebrew Israelites, and they'll try to demonize us. All right, so on and so forth. And some of us will go, to guillotines and get our heads chopped off, but we're not really worried about that, because if that happens, we died in this truth, and that's a righteous death. So it's you don't scare us with that, okay? You don't scare us. That's not scary, okay? Sure, it might be scary a little bit in the moment, but that's not, oh no, we're gonna get our heads cut. Oh well. All things considered, a guillotine's a pretty quick death, and we're not gonna feel it. All right, the Most High is more likely going to pull our spirits out, and even if He doesn't pull our spirits out right before it happens, we're not going to feel the pain regardless. All right, because the Lord's gonna, could make it to where we don't feel any pain. All right, you don't understand the power of the Lord, now do you? You don't. It says, and like it says, ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right, really, they hate us, but they hated the Lord first, really. It says, but we're gonna be hated for the Lord's name's sake. In verse 10 it says, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. So people are going to be betraying each other, all right, killing each other, all right, hating one another, all right. They're killing people for a box of Cheerios, as I always say. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. We're seeing that, right? We're seeing that. We're already seeing false prophets rising, all right? There's tons of them. Whole camps filled with false prophets, all right? Whole camps, all right? Stick with GMS and just stay with them, because a lot of these other camps are just riddled with false prophets, man. Telling you, like today I watched a premiere that Elder Manatazak out of GMS South Carolina did. He did a premiere. It was an older video, I believe he did, from like 2022, and it was dealing with I don't know the guy's name, but I believe it was from ISUPK, talking about, oh, you know what Chris Rock should do? He should go and fuck Will Smith's wife, and he should get some real good heroin, and he should go and fuck Jada Pinkett, and that's a false prophet, man. Ain't no prophet gonna be telling you to go and fuck another man's wife. All right, sorry for the vulgarity, but that's not that ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. All right? Continue on. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, wickedness, all right, the love of many shall wax cold. And you're seeing that. That's why there's so many shootings now, because the guns are out of control, man. The guns are out of control. We need gun control, and we need our children to be transgender. Ugh. No, that's not what this is all about. We don't want our transgender children to get a hold of guns. Why? That's America. You don't want your they them transformer kid to get a hold of have weapons, and you don't want your boy to be a girl. You don't want your boy to be a boy. You want them to be a girl, and you want your girl to be a boy, and you want up to be down and down to be up and left to be right and right to be left and tall to be small and small to be tall. Everything's all confusion, man. All right. And it's that's just how it is. All right, the love of many shall wax cold, and you're gonna see people killing each other, regardless of if there's fucking guns or not. All right, these fucking that's these leftist people. It's guns. Take away all the guns. Take away all the guns. You're gonna just stop the love of many waxing cold, right? You're just stop the Lord in his tracks, right? No, because guess what? Know what you're gonna have now? Stabbings. Look, they don't have any guns in England. All right. Well, they do have guns. There's still shootings in England, mind you. There's still a lot of fucking shootings in England. There's still a lot of fucking shootings in Mexico. All right, and a lot of these places. But guess what? It doesn't matter if there's shootings, because guess what? Over in England, there's stabbings. There's stabbings. People getting gutted. People getting whacked up with machetes. Okay, so go ahead and take all the guns away. I don't give a fuck. I don't need a gun. I don't own a gun. I don't even own a gun. I don't need a gun. For what? Because guess what? In those days, even if you take all the guns away, and it's going to be hard to get them away from those Edomites, my guns, you'll have to kill them, and then you'll be able to take them. But theoretically, all right, let's say theoretically, we don't like getting into theoretical bullshit a lot, all right, in a lesson, but theoretically, they managed to take all the guns away. Guess they just stopped the Lord in his tracks, right? Guess the love of many won't wax cold. People just stop killing each other. That'll be the end of that. No more guns, no more killings. We'll all go back to being happy and jumping around in rows, but no, we won't. That's not how things work, man. The end of society is nigh, all right? The end of this world is nigh. The love of many is waxing cold. The things that are being told right here, right before your eyes in Matthew 24, all starting in 1, all right? And you can even go down further. These are going to happen regardless, all right? So the love of many waxing cold, that's just going to stop? No. Guess what? They don't have guns. Now it'll be stabbings, all right? You take away the knives, now it'll be hammers. You take away the hammers, now it'll be screwdrivers. You take away the screwdrivers, it'll be fists, all right? It'll be fists, all right? You say, oh, you can't do that. Guess what? Or not fists, let's instead of fish, you say, after that, guess what? It'll be rocks. You somehow remove all the rocks from off the world. All right, theoretically, right? Then it'll be fists, and people beat each other to death. Guns. It doesn't matter, man. It does. The guns don't mean a fucking thing. All right. A lot of these people think all the killings happening and all this is because it's the guns. It's the guns. No, it's the Lord, man. It's not no fucking gun. All right, it's not no gun, no guns walking around shooting people. All right, it's the love of many waxing cold, and there happens to be a gun. You take those guns away from those people, they're gonna use a sword. You take those swords away from them, they're gonna use a knife. You take those knives away, they'll use a spoon. They'll use a spoon. They'll use a fork. They'll use a fucking. They will wrap. They'll go prison style. They will wrap a sheet around their hands and strangle someone to death because the love of many is waxing cold. People are gonna be killing each other. The Lord has it this way. The Lord's doing these things. You're not gonna stop the Lord in his track if you ban guns. If he allows you to ban guns, haha, look, we banned guns. If the Lord allows you to do that, then guess what? There's still gonna be killings going on. Bet you didn't account for that. You know. People are dumb, man. They like to credit, oh, it's the guns, it's the Lord. You never see it. You never see it. You never see that it's the Lord doing these things. You never see it. You never see that these are spirits of vengeance going out. You just see the guns. The guns. Take the guns away. See if the killings stop, because they won't. All right, because why? The love of many is waxing cold. Why? Because the Lord has it that way. People are gonna die regardless, man. They'll bash each other overhead with a goddamn fucking brick. Okay, a piece of wood. They're bare fists. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. What does matter is in verse 13 it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. That has to happen, and it is happening. That's why these Edomites are scared as shit. And then what? And then shall the end come. Well, the gospel of the kingdom is being preached in all the world right now. All right, for a witness to all nations, and it says, and then the end shall come. So it looks like the end is come. The end is coming. It looks like the end is nigh. But you said it wasn't. You said the apocalypse is not nigh. But it is. We just read that it is. All right, all these things are coming to pass, so that must mean the apocalypse is nigh. All right, and you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's how it is. That's why, you Edomites just need to shut your mouth. You don't understand what the fuck's going on. You don't understand, man. You don't got it. Let's get Matthew 16:2. Let's get it. If you ban guns and everybody becomes friends, and we ban, and we stop all the racial tension, and we get along, and you just let everybody be who they want to be, a boy look like a girl and a girl look like a boy, everyone will just get along and everything will just be grand. That ain't how shit's gonna work. That ain't how it's gonna work at all, first of all right, because that's how these Edomites think, man. That's really how they think. They think you take away the guns. All right, well, some of the Edomites. The majority of Edomites, I would say, are against guns now because there's really more Democrats than there are Republicans. All right, because Democrats, they're with all that wicked shit. Not saying Republicans are, much better, but they're with all that, being a Mo and Transformers and being able to, use drugs and legalizing drugs and witchcraft and, banning the Bible and, legalizing abortion. They're with all that stuff. That's Democrat stuff. That's leftist stuff. All right? That's leftist shit. Okay? So they're the majority right now, really. All right? And so the majority of people think that, oh yeah, we can just, all get along and we can just get rid of racism, because it's just only the Republicans are the reason for racism, right? Not that we're siding with either side. All right, I'm neither here nor there, but I will say that the Republican side makes a little bit more sense. They're both set up. All right, but the only reason the Republican sense makes a little bit more sense is at least they're against that Mo shit for the most part, and they're against the abortion. All right, again, I don't vote, I don't do none of that shit, as we shouldn't. All right, but in general, the Democrats are with some weird stuff. They're the ones that are with, they're the ones that they're all utilized by the government. The government just uses them for a few different things. All right, a few different things. But like I said, the majority of the political view is Democrat. All right, now, all right, they say it's Republican, but it's really Democrat. You see more of them being vocal. All right, and they want, children to be able to choose their gender. They want, man to be with man, woman to be with woman, no guns. All right, somehow they're gonna get rid of racism. All right, that's this idea that they have. All right, and if you get a baby, you can just kill it. That's the perfect lifestyle a lot of these people think. All right, and that's not how it's gonna happen, man. Matthew 16:2. It says, and you people just can't tell. You just really can't tell. And it's because these people don't have the spiritual eyesight. They don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. They really can't do it. They really can't see. It's perplexing to us in the truth and vexing, but they really can't see it, man. They really can't see it. All right? It's like I've used before. It's like we have that seeing eye decoder. All right, you used to get them on the back of cereal boxes. It's like a little red magnifying glass looking thing. All right, and on the back of the cereal box, it would be a hidden word. And if you didn't have it, you would be able to look at it, but you wouldn't be able to see it. But if you put that little red piece of film over it, you'd be able to see it. You'd be like, wow, man, look at that. You can see it say, it'd have like some little riddle. It'd be like, congratulations, you found blah, 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 or whatever it would do. All right. But people looking at it can't see it. And that's really how we are. It's like we have that lens built into our eyes. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, as we're looking around, we can see all these things. But it's right there, but these people still can't see it. Why? Because they don't have the decoder. And the decoder is that spirit, all right? The spirit, all right? The Holy Spirit, okay? They don't have it, so they can't see it. But we have it, so we can see it. All right, and you gotta thank the Lord for that. All right, for Wadi Haba Shem Yahweh Shai for that. All right, for giving it to me and for you brothers and sisters that that have it, that can see the spiritual eye to see. Well, the Holy Spirit, dealing with the men, but with the women as well, to on an extent, with allowing them to understand to an extent these things, being woken up. All right, through the truth. All right, so these we have the ability to see it, and we got to be thankful to the Lord for that. Because these people can't see it. It's so plain. All right? So plain. But they just can't see it, man. They just can't see it. It says in Matthew 16:2, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. All right? Let's continue on before we explain it more. It says, and in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the sign of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas, and he left them and departed. Okay, so you people can look and see, okay, yeah, there's a dark cloud. It's probably going to rain. All right, but you see these wars and these rumors of the wars, and you see the prophets teaching on the highways and byways and all across YouTube, and you see, the love of many waxing cold, people getting gunned down in the street, people getting stabbed in front of their daughters because they told someone not to vape, and blood leaking out, squirting all over the goddamn place, dying right then and there, and people just filming it. Look, he's dying, ha! He's dying, film it, all right? And you can't see it. You can't see it, but you can tell. Oh, look like it might rain. It's you people, man, because you ain't got the eyes to see. Blind of the mind. Let's get it. 2 Corinthians 4:4. It says, we can get 3 too. It says, 2 Corinthians 4:2. All right. It says, but if, and this part's really talking about the Israelites. Okay, really us, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says 2 Corinthians 4:3, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, okay, because even some Israelites aren't going to get it, okay? The heathens damn sure aren't going to get it, and some of the Israelites aren't going to get it as well, because not all Israel is of Israel, right? It says in verse 4, in whom the power of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. All right, so the heathens don't believe at all. And then there's some Jakes that don't believe, right? It says, lest the light of our glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. All right, so unless, the Most High, wakes them up, they're not going to get it. All right, he's blinded the minds of them which believe not. Okay, so if you don't believe, you're blind. That's why I don't see it. Of course you can't see it. You're an unbeliever. How are you going to expect to see it? Of course you're not going to see it, you idiot. All right. It says, let's see, how long have we been running here? About 15 minutes. Oh, geez, okay. 30 minutes. I thought we were running about 15 minutes. All right. It says, Isaiah, this is Isaiah 6 and 8. Let's get it. Something a little bit different for the music today. I'm in a different room, so I just used my phone. So hopefully it comes out decent. Hopefully you can hear it, but it's just some random. I actually like this one. Let me save this. Bear with me. Give me a minute. For water, Baba Kusha, give me a minute, please. I wanted to go ahead and save that into a playlist. why I have it. I don't want to lose it, because a lot of the ones on YouTube suck, because I usually use Epidemic Sound, and you'll get it'll copyright your video, but it won't copyright strike your video. All right, it'll just get a copyright claim. It'll say, yeah, look, you ain't gonna make money from it, which I don't care. I don't make money from my videos anyway, so I just let them do it. But I do that for free. You can you can buy Epidemic Sound, like rent it monthly, and you won't get no copyright claims. Because I know technically they could put ads on your video, but I haven't seen any ads on my videos, so we should be good, Lord willing. It says, right here in Isaiah 6:9. All right, let's get back in the groove. It says Isaiah 6:9, and he said, "Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not." Okay, so again with that whole you can hear, but you can't hear. All right, you can see, but you can't see, and it really puts it in, and that's the best way. You can hear, but you can't understand, and you can see, but you can't perceive. That's heavy. All right, that's heavy. I like that a lot. All right, that's a heavy scripture right there. That's the best way to put it. Okay, that's the best way that I could think to word that. All right, that's great. All right, that's an excellent scripture. It says, "Make the heart of this people fat, make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart and convert and be healed." So unless the Most High reaches out to them and turns them, and they turn back to the Lord, right? It says that, so that's what was going to happen to these people. It says, so, and this was speaking of Israelites, because this is speaking of Israelites, because they're the only ones that can get it, all right, and they're the only ones that can convert and be healed, right? So what does it say? It says, "Then say I, Lord, how long?" And he answered, the Lord answered, what did he say? He said, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate." So some of these people are not going to believe to the point of all the way to destruction. All right, all the way to destruction. Things will be going on. No, this is something completely different. I know we're in war. This isn't biblical. No. And it's Jake too, because a lot of those Jake, they're not Edomites, but they have like their spirit is likened unto an Edomite, because they hang around Edomites watching too much dumbass shit. All right, like people like Neil deGrasse, and I don't know what Neil deGrasse Tyson is. He might just be an Edomite, or he could be a really dumb lost Jake. All right, but people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. All right, that, well, science of the world. I'm an atheist, and science of the world. I'm like, that's Jake. You a spiritual tear at this point. All right. Or just a tear, depending. I don't think personally, I don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson is a Jake. All right, I don't know if he looks like one. I don't know if he actually goes back to, if anybody knows, if he actually just goes back to another nation. It could be that he's just like Indian or something, but that'd be weird. Looks like he could be a brother. All right, but like it tells you in verse 11. All right, it says, "Then said I, Lord, how long?" And he answered, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate." So that's until the end, man, until the end. Okay, and these proud Edomites though, all right, and some of these proud Jakes, all right, some of these Jakes really they have Esau is their daddy. All right, "Oh, Daddy, save me! Daddy Esau!" And think that they're gonna be able to be helped by Esau somehow. Okay, think that Esau is gonna watch out for them. Oh, "Don't worry, little Negro, we got your back. Come in here with us, and we'll help you." No, they think, and that's because they fell into all this stuff. They never woke up. All right, so that's all that worldly stuff, because Esau has, what do they put him at? They put him as Superman. They put him as this superhero, Batman. All right, this guy, and that's who they put him as. And then they are, "We have this under control. We, the Edomites, have this under control. Have no fear. Sit right there. Well, everything will be fine. We have the largest and strongest military in all of the world." They do these things. Of course, they wouldn't refer to themselves as the Edomites, but they'll say the United States has the strongest military, the strongest government, and the strongest citizens, and we, as citizens of the United States, will fight fight for our rights and fight for our freedom, and we will fight for every United States citizen. They say this type of shit, and Jake be like, yeah, we good. See, yeah, look, they got the F-15s, man. Look at them. Look at that jet, man. Look at that jet. They got aircraft carrier. Look at that. Oh man, they got the howitzers. They got the howitzers and shit. You don't know what a howitzer is? It's like a big fucking. I'll show you. It's a big gun. Yeah, no, I didn't think that was it. It's supposed to have a T right here. A howitzer. There it is. Things like these. They're probably using something way more modern. I guess they still use it, but they got like that, and they got they got tanks. Look at all this stuff. They got Black Hawks. They got Apache helicopters. You know, we gonna be fine. We gonna be fine. America's gonna be fine. No, it's not, Jake. And Esau's damn sure not gonna come running to your aid. All right. You think they give a shit about you after all the thing? And that's the other thing. There are Jakes out there, man. They're so lost and so gone. I ain't feeling this song. There we go. So lost and so gone, these Jakes out here, that they think that Esau's changed. They think the white man has changed. They think, no, they're not like that anymore. And they stand up for him, man. They got fucking Stockholm Syndrome. Okay? Look it up. Look up Stockholm Syndrome. That's what they have. They have Stockholm Syndrome, man. And you know what? The other thing, they don't realize that we're handicapped, man. And this is a joke. You know, this is a joke me and my wife had the other day. You know, we said something. We fucked up on something. And I don't know, we messed up on something. We were talking about something, you know, nothing biblical, but, you know, we were talking about some random thing. My wife said, we're handicapped, and, you know, in a funny way. And I said, fuck, I said, technically, aren't we handicapped? I said, technically, let's look up the definition of handicap. We are technically handicapped, aren't we? And us as Jakes, we are handicapped, man. It sounds funny, but look, if you look up the word handicap, we're fucking, and you can see because I looked it up. We are handicapped. Jake, it sounds, hey, brother, don't be saying we're handicapped now. No, we're handicapped. Check it out. By all definition.
Handicap
says a circumstance that makes progress or success difficult. And of course, we have the Lord, but through America, through Babylon the Great, in this society, we are handicapped. All right. Of course, we have the Lord, which takes that handicap off as much as he wants to. But by definition, in America, Babylon the Great, us as Jakes, all right, us as Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are handicapped. The word says impediment, hindrance, obstacle, barrier, bar. Look at this. And Crummett, a disadvantage. And we are at a disadvantage in here. They're not going to help Jake. They're not going to. We're in a difficulty. All right, not a stumbling block, but a difficulty. Okay, we have constraint. All right, they're not going to help us. All right, it acts as an impediment to. All right, what's an impediment?
Impediment.
A hindrance or obstruction in doing something. And this society is an impediment to us. All right, we can't keep the Sabbath how we'd like to because of jobs. Or we can't do certain things biblically because, that's illegal here, right? Can't do that, all right? You know, such as, you know, putting some of these, we won't mention names, but these people biblically that should be put to death, we can't put them to death now, okay? So we are under a handicap, okay? By technical definition. It says, says handicapped, says act as an impediment to, hamper, impede.
Impede.
To delay or prevent someone by obstructing them, and that's what Esau does. Impair, all right?
Impair.
Weaken or damage something, all right? Disadvantage, all right?
Disadvantage.
Put in an unfavorable position in relation to someone or something else, all right? So there we go. We are handicapped. Technically, it sounds funny when you hear about it, because when you think handicapped, you think, you know, someone in a wheelchair or a slow person, you know, like someone with like mental retardation or something. But no, by all technical definitions, it's a difficult position. All right, and we're in a difficult position. That's why we need the Lord. All right, we need the Lord because we're handicapped. All right, in this society. All right, it sounds funny. It does. All right, but, you know, because we were taught with that handicap, but we're in a handicap. Jake is in a handicap right now. All right, but the only way we break that handicap, all right, is through the Lord, because, you know, there's some things Esau doesn't want us to do, but through the Lord, he'll give us the power to do it. All right, so we have a handicap, all right, with the people of the world, all right, in Esau, but we have an advantage, all right, and the truth. They have a handicap, all right, with this knowledge, with this truth. They can't understand it. They don't get it. It causes great difficulty, all right? So we'll take the handicap with you instead of the handicap that you got, all right? We'll take this one because we can understand the truth. You can't even have that, all right? We'll take this worldly difficulty instead of, difficulty understanding the scriptures. No thanks. We're blessed with this knowledge, and Lord willing, the Most High keeps that spirit on us to continue in this truth. But let's get Psalms 10 and 6, all right? Because these people are very proud, and Jake too, like we were mentioning, all right? Because Jake thinks, there's Jake out there that think Esau's going to run to their aid. No, they're not. They're not. But these Edomites, and that's an Edomite mindset. The Edomites have put that in your mind because these Edomites think that they're going to be perfectly fine forever. As it says Psalms 10 and 6. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. That's what it says right there. It says, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. All right. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. That's how you know, because, he is the deceiver. All right. Esau. All right, and it also has the scripture, deceived and the deceiver are his, right? So, that's, with Bible scriptures, they start to add up once you learn them. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity, or mischief, all right, and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. And he does this literally as well. His eyes are privately set against the poor, us. It says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And he catches them and actually, and the poor is our people, all right? And, and both ways, physically and literally, doctrine-wise and literally, he does actually take our people, capture them, and kill them. But also, he sets these snares, all right, and puts out these doctrines to have you jakes all fucked up, thinking, white women are the prettiest. No, they're not. No, they're not. Jake women are the prettiest, all right. Let me not. I don't want to. Personally, all right. I think. I'll say it, but it's not gonna get to you ladies' head, and because we're gonna make more lessons, more than likely we might have a lesson coming up about these so-called black women. But me personally, all right, I think that Judite women are the prettiest women. All right, Edomite women not so much. Edomite women are pretty low on my list. All right, pretty low on my list. All right, the top prettiest women of the heathen nation, I think, are Ammon, not Moab. Moab is ugly as hell. Ammon, the Japanese women, and Ham. All right, but a good-looking Ham, because there's a lot of ugly-looking Hamites, but a good-looking Hamite. All right, there's some of them. Some of them are pretty. All right, and again, because that goes to that dark skin, but it's Judah. It goes Southern Kingdom and then Northern Kingdom for me. All right, that's how it personally. Not that there's anything wrong with Northern Kingdom women. All right, but I just like that dark brown skin. All right, that's just how I like it. I like dark brown skin. That's how it goes, man. All right. Anyway, we're getting off the point. That's what Esau sets up these things, and not only physically, murders the poor, but also, crouches and sets up these, these traps. All right, and making, that's why you got black women that, the white women are so pretty. Meanwhile, they're over here prettier than that white woman. All right, a white woman looking like goddamn fucking troll from under a bridge, about to ask you a riddle. All right. And black girls, oh, she's so pretty. I mean, you got all those fucking chemical cancer causing fucking relaxers, relaxers are those straighteners too, using relaxers, straightening your hair, burning the shit out of it, hot combing it, all right, or just wearing wigs, straight wigs, dyeing your hair blonde, all right, getting sew-ins, weaves, whatever you want to do, and blonde, all right, anything to have looking like straight hair. It don't look right on you, Jake, and your hair looks nice, all right. A natural woman's beautiful. A woman with natural hair, it don't matter what hair type you got, all right. It looks good. Okay, well, I have 4C hair. 4C hair is great. It's my favorite, all right, personally, you can have those big sexy afros, all right, with those girls get, all right, the little curls in it, all right, like the cover of Funkadelic, all right. So, There you go. You know, you can do a lot of things with it, but, you know, they've been taught, you know, oh, your hair's ugly. It's, you know, and that's Esau setting their traps and their snares once again. All right. But so we got that. They think their houses shall continue forever. All right, and that's, again, going on with that, because we were going on a tangent for a while about, you know, Esau has put these out so much that even Jake believes it. Jake believes that white women are prettier. Jake believes that Esau is going to be able to win the war, and that they're the strongest military, and that they're strongest, and that there'll never be a war on this soil. And because they listen to, who said those things? Where did they get those things from? Esau. Esau's the one that said it. Well, you know, we're never going to be in adversity. All right, or, oh, we're never going to, you know, that's really what goes back to is that scripture. But they say things like that. Oh, there'll never be a war on American soil, you know, with foreign nations. All right, because of course you had the Civil War and stuff like that. But no, there'll never be one like that. There'll never be anything like that on a grand scale. There will never be a world war on American soil. Well, okay, we'll see about that. And that's proud. That's pride. That is Esau's pride. Let's get Proverbs 16 and 18. Because these people are very, very proud. Very proud, mind you. And what's going to happen to them? It says, Proverbs 16 and 18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Haughty also means proud. All right, so a proud spirit. All right, so pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit, proud spirit, before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Okay? There you go. Let's get to Isaiah 2 and 11. Cranking them out. Isaiah 2 and 11, it says, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down. The Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. What? The day of the Lord. All right? The day of the Lord. Where are we going? All the way to 21. All right, it says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. We'll continue on. It says, and the idols he shall utterly abolished, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for fear of the Lord, and for glory of his majesty, when he arise to shake terribly the earth. And it's going to happen. It says, in that day, of course, we won't have to read it and then highlight it after. It says, in that day, had to slow down. In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats. They're going to throw them down. It says to go into the clefts of the rocks, throw them in the ground, throw them in the air. It says to go into the clefts of the rock and into the tops of the jagged rocks. It says for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. So, and that's going to happen. The Lord's going to shake the earth terribly in the day of the Lord. It's going to be the day of the Lord, all right? And there's not going to be a proud person the day of the Lord. They're going to try. It's not going to do it. Let's get Malachi 4 and 1. Then we got one scripture after that, and we're going to close out. Malachi 4 and verse 1. Again, talking about the proud. All right, and some other people as well. Malachi 4 and 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh. It's coming, but the end is not nigh. No, the day is coming. It is nigh. The end is nigh. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. And in the day that I shall do this, say the Lord. In the day that I shall do this, say the Lord of hosts. All right. So, and we were really just going to grab that first verse. But hey, we'll continue on. Where are we at now? 54. Gotcha. Okay. we've gone long enough. We'll grab this. We don't have to grab anything extra. I'm going to grab Isaiah 14 and 12 and through 21, I think. Now we're going to close out. And 12. All right. Through 21. Let me do it now. Give me a minute. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. Okay, okay, all right. That's weird, but all right. Here we go. Let's go back up. Isaiah 14 and verse 12 says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" Speaking of Esau, Edom. "How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. In the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." So this devil thinks he's going to be just like the Most High. What's going to happen though? It says, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?" They're going to be astonished. They're going to be like, "What? This was him?" All right. It says, "All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch." And when an abominable branch, when you cast a branch aside, it just withers up and dries out and crumbles. It eventually turns into nothing. It says, "And as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned." Verse 21 says, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." Why is that? Because reincarnation, right? That's a topic for another day, but that's why that is, because you come back every third to fourth generation. So that's why it's not, because, there's that scripture. Christians say, well, what it says, well, the son shall not bear the iniquity of the father. That's a different topic. All right. That's saying, like, for example, me right now, if my father did something, all right, because, for example, my father still eats pork. All right. I'm not going to be punished. I've told him about those things. All right. I've told him about the truth. I've told him about the name. All right. It's, for the most part, goes in one ear and out the other. It kind of looks like he understands it through, it's like somewhere deep in his spirit, like, oh yeah, and then he forgets, all right, because the Most High doesn't want him in the truth right now at this point, all right. So he might be able to get a little bit, but other things he can't get, like the things I talk about with the elite and stuff. He can understand because all growing up, my dad's what you would call a conspiracy theorist. All right. So, and some of them, are true. Like, the elites and, all this other stuff and the government doing all this crazy stuff. But there's other bugged out ones that he believes too. All right. So there you go. Now, is he accepting of some of those things? Who knows? Who knows? All right. I've tried telling him, because he's one to believe, the little green men and the UFOs and all that stuff. I've told him about that's actually the angels and stuff. Seems like he got it for a minute, or maybe like, yeah. And I think actually he might have said something back in the day. He said, what if I'm not gonna say that, but I think I almost remember him almost mentioning something about, what if that's what they were, but maybe not. I won't say that because necessarily because it might not have been true, but part of me thinks, I was like, did he say something like that before? Maybe, who knows? But it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." All right, because every third to fourth generations they come back. This isn't speaking of, like my father or your father or, or your mother or however it goes. All right, well, not your mother because it's speaking of fathers, but, because your bloodline comes through your fathers. But, it's speaking of, or even your grandfather, maybe your great-grandfather, but your dad's father, no. Okay, so that's, because you're not going to pay for the things that they did, if they're, eating pork or if they're still smoking or whatever they're doing, all right, you're not going to pay for that. But you will, all right, pay for the things that you did, last time you were reincarnated, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that, all right? It says, Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right, so there you go. So they're not gonna fill the face of the world with cities. Why? Because they're gonna be utterly destroyed. They're gonna be destroyed because of all the wickedness that they've done. All right, for the iniquity of their fathers, the things that we didn't do those things. We didn't do those things. Yes, you did. You did do them. All right, you just did them. 100 years ago. All right, but you're that same person coming back 60 years ago. All right, however long, it depends on how. Every third to fourth generation depends on how your family be pumping them out. If they be having a lot of babies, you come back sooner. They don't really be having babies, you come back later. All right, but regardless, all right, the apocalypse is not nigh. No, the apocalypse is nigh. All right, and we're not going to say the apocalypse because it can be used. All right, but the real is the coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, and it is nigh. It's coming soon. All right, and some of you people aren't going to be prepared. So with that, we're going to close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.